Hi, my name is David Yarbrough, and I will be doing my informative speech on a position called Inventory Control Manager. Have you ever wondered how stores seem to always have in stock what it is that you're looking for? There are several people who are involved in making sure that this task happens. You've got your purchasing manager, your sales manager, and your inventory control manager. I would like to discuss with you the most recently mentioned inventory control manager. Did you even know stores had such a person within them? Well, they do, and I want to take a few minutes and just share with you what this position's responsibilities are and why it's an important role. Now, according to his book, Managing the Supply Chain to Meet Consumers' Demands, Bob Lawson states, the retailer has a thankless task. He must interpret the consumer's desires, passing these pieces of information onto his suppliers, while still facing the challenges of understanding what is happening within his store. For example, how many people are leaving dissatisfied because they couldn't find the product that they were looking for. So let's start with why a retailer needs an inventory control manager. Over the years, many articles have been written discussing the why. In Nicole DiHoratio's article, Inventory Management, when records are inaccurate. She discusses the topic of corrections, identify and correct existing inventory record discrepancies. The inventory control manager is responsible for the process and the controls needed to validate and verify the actual quantities and merchandise on hand and available for sale. This all starts with a physical count of merchandise. The inventory control manager will go out. He will have a list of product that he's supposed to count for that day or that week, and he will go into the store and he will count it. He may find a pallet of merchandise here. He'll go through and he'll count it. He may find an end cap of merchandise there, go through and count it. Well, once he's counted all the product, they will enter this information into their computer system. And the information will be cross-referenced against all purchases and sales, plus beginning inventory, and find out whether a variance exists. Now, if a variance exists, it's his job to find out why. Now, some levels of variance are okay, others are not. An example would be, why would a variance not be okay? A $500 lawnmower. You know what, if your inventory says you have 4 of those $500 lawnmowers in stock, you better have 4 of those $500 lawnmowers in stock. However, if it says you have 10,000 loose bulk screws in stock, whether there are now 9,250 versus the 10,000, you know what, we lose product all the time. We have shortage, we have shrinkage. It's okay. When we do have these variances, the inventory control manager, it's his responsibility to find out why. Now, there are very different methods and reasons why inventory could be off. And the most obvious, human error. Now, how does human error come into play? Well, it starts with the count. If product is off in an overhead somewhere, if product is stuck underneath a bin, if product is still back in the receiving area and was never counted, well, this is how the numbers can be different, and the inventory control manager is responsible for finding that. Speaking of receiving, what if I were to receive 300 of an item, but when somebody was entering the data, they thought my 300 was a 30, and they entered 30. Well, if I'm going to go back, I'm going to start looking for variances. I'm going to pull these reports, take a look and see. I'm going to notice that, you know, these receiving documents versus the recorded documents don't match. I'm going to go, boom, there's my variance. Other locations of discrepancies can be with the UPC code. Very uncommon these days to have that, but you know what, it's entirely possible where the person entering, because this all comes down to human error, and most of the time it does, somebody could have entered an incorrect UPC code into a computer system, and therefore when it's being rung up, it's actually being rung up for a completely different item. So therefore, our inventory levels are going to be off. And of course, there's always that inevitable theft that we run into at times. As we discussed, the most common types of errors are the human errors. then it's the inventory control manager's job to reach out, find these discrepancies. Once he's come up with a new count, or he may validate the count, he re-enters the information into the computer system. If the numbers now are within the variance tolerance, great, he's done. If it's not within the variance tolerance, he has to write up a report, get this information off to corporate, discuss what steps he took to validate his findings versus the computer findings. And throughout the process, somebody's going to get some information updated. Either the inventory count is going to be updated, there might be a memorandum come down from corporate saying, please take another look, but somehow this information is going to get updated. So once an explanation has been discovered, like I say, this information goes off to corporate, and once everything is updated, they can get their financial records corrected. So if stores are going to keep relevant stock on hand so that when you come in, you have the ability to purchase it, all of these factors have to come into play. There are many different areas of controls that need to be managed. Inventory control helps to manage the various areas of receiving and sales processes. If a store has what you want, you'll come inside. Once you're inside, you're likely to buy more product. You come in for bread, you get your bread. Oh, wait, you know what? I forgot I need mayonnaise. Oh, and I need bologna. But if you come in for that bread and it's not there, you leave. You're going to go to a store that has that bread. So if we're upselling, we become more profitable. An inventory control manager, a very unique, qualified, and important position. Have you ever heard of such a role? You know, if not, that's not uncommon. They are the unsung heroes to managers and to corporate executives. But as you can see, they play a very integral part and an important role in stores' security and productivity, as well as profitability. So thank you. I hope you've enjoyed and maybe learned a little bit about inventory control managers. Thank you.